This is Lucas Euser. He rides for Spider Tech powered by C10. And he's joining us today from Boulder. He's about to head over to the tour of Utah. And we are privileged to have him talking to us today. And I have a couple of questions for you. The first question I have is, what are the most pivotal moments in your career that you either learned from or how it made you get to where you are as a bike racer?
First off, Brandon, thank you for having me. I've been following you guys on Facebook and Twitter and interested in what you guys are doing. So Cycling Illustrated is definitely making a name for itself. And I appreciate you having me here. Pivotal moments in my career, I can really point to the one moment that changed my life, and that was when I got hit by a car in May of 2009. It wasn't a pivotal moment in the sense that I was getting better. It was a pivotal moment in the sense that I was removed from what I had worked so hard to do and forced to come back and gain a new perspective and learn how to do it again and fight, and it gave me everything I am right now.
Cool. How long were you out when you got hit by the car?
I was out for about 5 to 6 months before I actually got on a bike.
Wow.
Once I found, and I hope you don't take this as a sponsor plug, but once I found Spider Tech, my rehab instantly changed. My attitude instantly changed, and from that next 6-month block, I went from barely riding a bike to riding top 20 in the 2010 Tour of California.
Yeah, I mean, we can go there. I mean, Spider Tech, most people don't know what it is, and is it a kinesiology tape they came up with, or?
Spider Tech is unique in the sense that it is a kinesiology tape, but their uniqueness lies in the fact that there's 17 different applications for each part of your body. So there's a neck spider, there's a knee spider, there's an ankle spider, there's a lower back spider. There's all these spiders, as they call them, that are specifically designed for certain areas, and they're easy to apply, as opposed to a roll of tape that you can get from other brands that you're a little bit confused with how to use.
Okay, well, that's good information because not everybody knows what that is, and I was going to ask you that anyway. Can you name a person who's had tremendous impact on you over your bike riding career?
It's hard to pinpoint one person who's had that major impact in my career. I think I can attribute my success to the fact that I've created an amazing team around me, and a personal network. I have guys like Alan Lim. I have Dr. Inigo San Milan. I have Max Testa to go to. I have therapists like Curtis Cramblett, who's helped me a ton. He's not a very well-known name, but he guided my rehab to where it is today. I've got kind of a plethora of people I can go to and call on when the time comes. In terms of riders, I've attached myself quite a bit to Levi Leipheimer. We were both based in Northern California for quite a bit. He's helped me along my path a lot. He's taken care of me when I've been in Girona. He's offered me advice when I needed it. He's kicked my ass when I needed it. He's shown me the way in terms of connecting with a professional cyclist.
That's awesome to have that kind of support. I mean, when you're at that level, I guess all those guys in some way or another become your family, just because you spend so many hours with them on those long bike rides. Now, I was reading your Twitter account, and it says the only thing we have to do in life is die. Everything else is a choice. That's pretty profound. What is that? Where do you get that from?
So I was actually directly quoting that from Curtis Cramblett, who is the therapist I used. His company is Revolutions in Fitness in San Jose, California. Curtis inspires and mentors me in so many different ways, and challenged me to break through on this injury that I had, and to not only fix that, but fix everything else while we were at it. He helped turn my life around. He helped turn my body around, and also the way that I thought about myself and the way that I thought about cycling. This was starting back in, I believe we met in late 2008, so it was actually before my injury. So when I had my injury, I was able to go back to him and call on him when I needed to. The quote that he says there is that there's so many choices in life, right? it's up to us to make the right ones. It's up to us to make sure we make the right decisions that better ourselves and better our lifestyle, and make sure that people around us are cared for, and that we live a happy, healthy lifestyle.
Well, that's I really like that quote, and that's why I wanted to write it down and ask you about it. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. What makes it, for being a pro bike rider like yourself, and we've all seen you guys on TV, and you being a climber as being self-described, what is it in you that lets you push those limits of what's, not really capable for most of us? I mean, you come through all this, you come through injury, you come through all this perseverance. What is it in you? That's what we want to know. What makes you be able to work that hard and keep that level while you're riding your bike?
Brendan, I have an intense desire to succeed in life, and when I found a bike when I was 13, I instantly knew that I wanted to do that via a bicycle. I wanted to succeed via a bicycle. Ever since, I've never questioned my ability to be a professional, to be the best I can be. I've just done what I can to get there. There's obviously been roadblocks, there's been challenges, there's been things that I've had to work through, but ultimately it boils down to that desire and that passion to want to succeed and want to push myself to the point where I feel like I'm succeeding in that challenge, and making the most out of who I am and out of who my human is.
Right, because that's always a special skill. Now, you've said that you're a climber, and you're very good about planning out scenarios for your team as you're riding, and maybe you give your team emotional support. Could you kind of elaborate a little bit on that? Because, from us being out here and just watching you guys roll by and not really being on our bike, could you kind of just elaborate on what that means for us?
If I had to pick, if I had to tell you what type of rider I am, I guess the only way to really describe my 5'6", 125-pound frame is that I'm a climber. But cycling is so much more than your body type and what you're able to do. It's how you're able to affect others around you. So on Team SpiderTech, I've taken a little bit of a role in helping the younger guys and not necessarily mentoring them. They know what they're doing. I don't want to come in and tell them exactly what to do, but I can also be there on the bike in the race, being a team captain, being someone who has had the experience and can call the changes and can call the tactics on the road. So yes, I'm a climber, but I'm also a leader. I'm a captain. I'm someone who is aggressive and just wants to race his heart out.
I love that. I love that you know that you're the leader and the captain. That's how I get that from you, and so I'm sure your team really appreciates that as well.
And Brandon, I also want to clarify, like, just because I say a leader or a captain doesn't necessarily mean you're the best person in the race. I think a lot of people confuse that leading role as someone who's just the best rider on the team. I think we have the Team SpiderTech has an extremely well-rounded team, and when I say leader, I mean getting others to follow me and getting others to succeed as well.
Right. No, I think we all got that, loud and clear. You're born to lead, and that's just part of it. So, so you have this tour of Utah coming up, and I saw on your Twitter account you got some last-minute training in up there at altitude. So, can we expect some results from you, or what can we expect from you in that race?
First off, I wouldn't call it last minute at all. Everything was preempted and meditated. Premeditated. Ever since I got back from the tour of Switzerland on June 18th, I took it upon myself to kind of change a few things. This spring was tough for me. I got sick a little bit. I wasn't riding as well as I wanted to do. So I embarked on a mission to change that. I changed my attitude. I changed the way I believe in myself. And by doing that, I also was part of the Taylor Finney camp to get him ready for the Olympics. So for 3 weeks, we rode every day together. We did race simulation. We did time trial simulation. We did pretty much everything in the book. And we all owe that to Alan Lim. He was an amazing coach and mentor during that 3-week period, and he took us all to another level. As you saw, Finney just double fourth in the Olympics, and that, like, for a 22-year-old is an incredible feat.
Absolutely.
And personally, I worked with my personal coach, Dr. Inigo San Milan, and he's down in Denver. And we also decided to go up and ride a little bit higher, between 9,000 and 12,000 feet. But that was more to get ready for the USA Pro Cycling Challenge. I did a very similar build last year. I came into Utah ready to go. I was top 10. I feel more physically and mentally together than I ever have been right now. So I'm looking to better that. I want to win a stage of Tour of Utah. I've looked at stage 1, stage 5, and stage 6 as really good stages for me. And I'm gonna take every opportunity that comes my way. I think Team SpiderTech is sending an extremely strong squad to the Tour of Utah, and I think we're gonna have a ton of opportunities. But I'm looking to emerge as one of the stronger team leaders in the Tour of Utah.
Great. I'll be pulling for you. Just before we go, I always like to ask you, riders that have some experience, for the younger guys that aren't at your level, and some of them may get there, some of them may never. What are 1 or 2 nuggets that you could throw out to them that to keep hope alive for them?
Well, to never let that flame burn out. You always want to have that fire under you. So sometimes that involves changing, and sometimes that involves learning new ways of training, but ultimately it all kind of boils down to making sure you're having fun on the bike. And I know it's a cliche statement that we all say we're having fun, but if you're not having fun, then you're not going to do well. This sport is so mental that you have to feel compelled to keep pushing yourself. You have to have that gratifying experience after every training day, thinking, I just did everything I possibly could to better myself. It feels amazing when you're just sitting on the couch and you can't move and you can barely even change the channel because that was an accomplishment,
Right.
And that excites me, and you have to find that excitement. And if you can't, then maybe there's something else you want to try out. But ultimately, you have to want it.
Yeah.
You have to want it, and you have to want to succeed, and you have to want to push yourself.
Great. That's all good information. Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
We brushed on my accident earlier. We talked about SpiderTech. They've been an amazing support network for me.
What is C10?
Say it again?
What is SpiderTech powered by C10? What is the C10?
The C10 is a group of Canadian companies getting together to support this Canadian project. So it's not just specifically one sponsor.
Okay.
It's a group of 10 sponsors putting in cash to support the Canadian project that Steve Bauer started, and that's to get a Canadian team in the Tour de France. But it's also geared towards developing young Canadian riders.
Okay, that's good clarity. We really appreciate you joining us today on cyclingillustrated.com.